Hello everyone. Today I'm going to make a star book. It's an origami inspired book. I think I've been making probably for 20 years, 25 years, as long as I can remember. But it's one of my favorite simple origami inspired handmade books. So what you're going to need, I've got 5 sheets of paper, 6-inch square, and they're just varied in size. And I have a couple of pieces of chipboard, and this is cut 3 1/4-inch square, and just some sheets for the covers and a little embellishment, and some either a glue stick or this some white glue. And I also have some little pieces to glue in just to finish the book off, some little quotes, and I actually stamped those ahead of time onto some colored papers. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is fold the pages, and we'll just fold them all exactly the same way. So you start with your pattern side down or colored side down, or the side you want to be on the outside of the book. And you're going to fold it in half in one direction, open it up, and fold it in half in the other direction. Now importantly, you keep that, you have these mountain folds. These are your mountain folds. Now with your pattern side up, you're going to fold corner to corner in only one direction, just one time. And then what we do is push, I take my finger right in here and I push up till these become mountain folds. And then I'm just going to collapse it. And I'm going to do this on all 5 pages. Now that I have all of my components here, or my pages, I'm going to think about the arrangement and how I want to glue these together. There's 2 different ways you can glue these together. You can glue them where they're lined up exactly on top of each other, and this is how it will open up into a star. But it kind of remains, actually I'll show you one that I haven't finished, but you could see if you glue them right on top of each other, just directly on top, you can create this star shape like this, and you can't really open it because it's glued right stacked. So now there's another way though. If you want to glue it where you have pages intersecting like this, you can actually create a really interesting book. Or if you wanted to do it opposites, like such as this. So I think it would be fun to try doing it opposites this time. First thing is I have to decide, I'm going to grab actually some of this paper, the deli wrap paper, just to kind of keep the area clean from glue, excess glue. You don't want to get glue all over your pages. So I'm going to go ahead and start with just putting a good amount of glue on the top of this page, or this flat side. And I'm going to just take the folded edge here, the raw edges on this side. Basically I'm just placing it on the opposite side here. So I'm just going to line this up, if I can get all the corners lined up as much as I possibly can, and just kind of move it around till you get it centered, and then you'll see it opens up kind of like opposites. That's one way to do this. It's a fun way, but it also, for this one with the pattern on the wrong side, or pattern on one side and solid on the other, I'm going to just turn it and I'm going to make it so that the folded edges are lined up. I think this just will look better. If I was using just white paper, it probably would be better. Okay, but I think it's going to look better this way. So you can see I've just now created one little part. And I didn't line this up perfectly, but that's just the way it is. So that's okay. All right, now I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to put this, I'm going to get this next page, and I'm going to pick this paper, maybe this one here. And I'm just going to put some glue on top. Really nice amount of glue too. I'm just going to try to match these corners or edges, everything. Try to get them as lined up as you possibly can before you press down. And glue all of these pages together the same way. Okay, now that I've got them relatively lined up, I mean, they're not perfect. That's why I'm going to make the cover just a little bit bigger. That's why it's 3 1/4 inches rather than I want it to be a little larger to kind of make up for the uneven sides. So I just didn't stack them up the way I wanted to, but that's all right. It's still going to be fine. You can make some adjustments in your folds. And now I'm going to go ahead and start thinking about what is going to be in my book. So I've got my pages opened up. And I could leave it blank, right now, but I think it's much more fun to put something in it to give people inspiration when they're looking at it. But you can see on this how it looks opened up anyway. Okay, so I'm going to start gluing in the little pages. So I'm just opening it up, and I'm going to just put content right in the top and the bottom, the flat pages. So I'll just go ahead and pick these and start gluing. Okay, now that I've got all of the book is assembled, and I just want to make the cover now. So I've got this beautiful book, but it just needs a cover. So here it is, beautiful. You can see that on both sides it has color, and then the inside has a quote, a nice positive quote. So now I'm going to get my papers, and I'll show you how I made the covers. So here we are. I've got my 3 1/4 inch squares, and I'm going to place them in the middle. I'm going to put some white glue. I'm not going to use the glue stick for this part. I'm going to use some white glue, and you want to be generous when you're putting it on the cover. So I could use a scraper, something, just have lots of glue on your cover. And now I'm going to just a little smearing with my fingers so that it will be smooth, and I'm going to place it right in the middle. And another little trick that I like to do, not a trick, but just a way to smooth out, is you want to you can actually take a I'll show you, something to smooth. You can use something to smooth down that paper, the glue, so it keeps it nice and smooth. Now I've got it on that side, and I'm going to trim. I'm going to leave a little space. I'm going to make a corner on all 4 sides right here, just leaving about a 1/16 of an inch on the corner. I'm doing that so that I have room to make the next thing. So here I'm going to just put some good amount of glue on the sides, and I'm going to really concentrate on the edge. I'm just going to roll it over and press down, and I'm going to do the same on the opposite side, kind of like stretching a canvas. You want to stretch that paper over as much as you can. There you go. And now I'm going to just roll it over and pull towards the center. And I'm going to do the next one is going to be, I'm going to go really concentrate on those corners. And I'm going to pinch the corners right where the cardboard starts. I'm just pinching with my fingernails, and that's going to give me a nice mitered edge. Very nice edge. There we go. And then I'll do the same on this side. And now I've got one cover done, almost. Just pinching those little edges, just kind of using my fingernails actually, and I'm going to put a little more glue on this side because I didn't have enough glue. And I'm just going to roll it over. I've got a nice cover. Now I usually like to flatten these covers for a little while before I assemble the book. Another thing you want to do is take a bone folder or some kind of edge, flat edge, to really get those corner or those edges nice and flat. And you can do the same, just take all of the little parts here and just flatten it all. That gives a much cleaner, finished look than just not doing that. So there it is. I've got that one side. Looks great. And now I'm going to just make another one. Okay, now that I'm finished with the covers, I've got two covers. I have to decide which one I want the front, which one I want the back. It really doesn't matter much since I am putting a piece of art over the cover, so it really doesn't matter. So I'm going to just glue, I'm not sure which side, it probably won't matter, but I'm just going to put some glue, white glue on this, just some watercolor paper. Just make sure I get those corners on down and the edges, and I'm going to put that right in the center. And now I have a little bit of, I have a little bit of glue that's going to ooze over that edge. So what I'm going to do is center it really well before it, or try to center it. It's not a perfect square. I can see that. I'm just going to squeeze out the excess, and then anything that's excess I will wipe off so that it doesn't leave a gloss. There we are, like that. Okay, so that is ready, the little cover. That's the front cover, and maybe on the back I might put something fun on the back. Maybe here. Maybe I'll tear it. Let's see. Just try something different. Nope, won't let me tear it. I'm just going to leave it alone. So this just shows that it's the cover. Now I have to decide how that cover is going to be. So this is the spine of the book. You can see this is where it's going to be page. The page will be turning. So I'll go ahead and have it open. I'll put my cover like this on that part. So I'll just go ahead and do that. Right now I'm going to put it on the page. I could use it. I'm going to just go back to the glue stick because again, the white glue will make the pages wrinkle just maybe too much. So I'll go ahead and use some of this. I'm going to just get it so that I don't get any glue on the sides. Give it a generous amount of glue all the way onto to the very edges of the page, and especially in the back part. And I'll go ahead and place this right on top. Now it's good before I really press down. I want to make sure it's centered around the, so that it's basically all these edges are inside the cover. So there it is, and then I'll just open it up and kind of double check that centering and move it around if I need to, which I'm doing a little bit. There we go. That looks great. Okay, there we go. One more, and then I'll just finalize. I'll put this second cover on, and that will be the finished book. And this time I really want to center these so that they lay right on top of each other. And then I'll double check. I'll open this up, and I can see it's really close to the edge, so I'm just going to kind of move it around just a little. And then try it, look at it again, check it. Yep, it looks fine. And then I can burnish that down. Really get that nice and flat. So there is the book. Now I could add some ribbon to close it, but really on its own it closes just fine. It doesn't need anything. And there it is, and that is called the Star Book. So the reason it's called a Star Book is it actually opens up to a star, and if you wanted to hang it, you could put a little clip on it, and you have a star book. There it is.